everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It has been starting to get pretty hot here in the past week, and stuff is just growing like crazy out here. You can see this spot out here. Our Luba has been mowing it, and it's kept it looking really nice. But other than this and the other spots that we've had it mow, stuff is just coming up like crazy, and we need to start maintaining that some more. Just to give you an example, this spot here that looks like a lawn is actually the same grass as what's right here. Pretty much anything that looks like this right now, if we mow it right now, then we'll be able to keep it looking like this for the rest of the summer. So we have some of that we want to do today, and also some other odd and end tasks. So let's go take a look at some of the other stuff that we've been working on. So one thing we need to do is deal with this. This is our V-Vor tent that didn't work out, and we need to free our tractor from this. Unfortunately, we really needed this to work out because we have a bunch of stuff that we need to keep out of the rain. We still need to figure out a solution for that, but also we need our tractor, and this is all piled on top of it. And then up on the mill, we have some pine that we started milling for our furring strips for our roof. But we actually paused on this because we're starting to get some powder post beetles all over this board. And even though we treated it with boracare, they still seem to be digging into it. So we're definitely looking for some suggestions to help get rid of these. We know that once we have a solar kiln, that will help kill the bugs that are already inside it. But for times when we're air drying wood like this, we're looking for some kind of solution for getting rid of them, because we definitely don't want to be bringing a bunch of new bugs over to our house. So definitely let me know if you have some kind of suggestion for that. And then over here, we finally burned our big burn pile. We had some friends come over this weekend, and we had a little party and burnt the fire. And it was a huge fire, but you can just see the damage here. But that fire ended up going until the next day, and we ended up extending our burn permit and started doing some clearing all around here, so we can go check that out. So before we started clearing this out over here, I had the Luba set to mow right about here, and it was about a foot or two away from where the woods were beginning. And so yesterday we just started pulling out a ton of branches from over here, and we got our DR running again. It's basically a combination between, it's like in between a mower and a bush hog, so it's like a walk behind bush hog, and Dad just absolutely tore it up in here. So that's good, and I'm hoping that we can get enough of this cleaned up so that we can extend where the Luba will automatically mow every week. But yeah, it's looking real good over here now. We just have to keep going over it over and over. We might do a little bit more of that later in this video. You can see this is what it all looks like when he was mowing it. So I think I'm gonna continue on with this. We have some blackberry bushes over there that we wanna kind of keep it cleared around so that we can get those later in the summer. But yeah, that's just a few of the odd and end things we need to do this week. And we're gonna start over by the V-Vor tent and try to free our tractor. All right, so we got the tent taken down. Did take us a little bit longer than expected, but we were able to salvage some of the pieces. We noticed pretty much all these connecting pieces were fine. It was just some of these straight pieces that had gotten bent, so we've got a pile of those over there. All the tarp, we laid it out over there. It's all still in great condition. It didn't get any holes in it, surprisingly, so maybe we could use that for something. Dad was saying we could make some kind of temporary structure out of wood and reuse the tarp, so maybe we could try that. And we also ended up mowing a different area over here, so I still haven't gotten to the other spot yet. We were thinking this would also be a good place to start some wood piles for when we're air drying some wood. So we thought right now is a great time to go ahead and start mowing it. And you might see over here, we got the luba set up. So let's go check that out. So there it is, just doing its thing. I tried to pick up most of the sticks, but I think it's still gonna hit some every now and then. And I did create a couple no-go zones, like right there should be one. Hopefully, now that we got it mowed once, we can just set the luba to maintain it and all this area will stay like this. It gets really bad right here, especially being by the fence. Everything just starts to grow up and it becomes a mess to deal with. All right, I'm gonna try going vlog mode here. I don't usually do this. Dad ended up leaving and going out of town, so he left me here to do stuff, but you guys know what that really means. Oh yeah, this is nice. Honestly, Dad should go out of town more often. This is where it's at right here. It's not the first time he's done it either. Last week he went out of town too, and I filmed the luba video all by myself, so you know, I deserve this. All right guys, just kidding, but I do want to start clearing out around the blackberry bush over there, and I'm also going to start on staining our ramps over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the DR out, start that up, and start clearing around the blackberry bush. Guys, this thing right here is the real deal. Literally just anything this thing touches just gets destroyed. So I like to have some fun with it. You know, this thing can pop a wheelie. All right, well that thing will destroy some stuff, but I cleared a path around our blackberry bushes here. I'm excited to be able to get to these later in the summer. Maybe we'll have to show some of that on video. This started as just this tiny patch of blackberries we found, and we just let it grow the last couple of years, and it's gotten pretty big, so we're probably gonna get a lot of blackberries this year. But now I'm gonna head over and start staining our sawmill bunk. Okay, so I got my stain out, and there's actually a lot less than I thought was in here, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to stain the whole thing today, but I do want to start by staining the bridges that we built that go from the ramp to the sawmill, and we're gonna be using this pecan stain. If I end up having enough, then I'll stain the ramps too, so we'll just have to see. This stuff smells really good. All right, time to make a mess. Oh my gosh, there's a crack in this thing. Here we go. Hey.
Yeah, so there's two brand new cans in the kitchen right by the oven.
Okay, is it the same? Is it the same stuff?
There's one is pecan. Yeah, one's.
All right, because I already started with the other one.
So there's two different colors, and remember the dented can versus the other one. So there's two brand new cans of Ready Seal.
All right.
Because that one's probably, I don't know that that's that great, but it doesn't matter if it matches perfect, but it'll be fine.
Hey, it turns out we did have a second can. This wood is soaking up the stain like crazy, so I don't even think I would have made it through this. Looks really good. Really brings out the grain in this pine. lie, this stuff is looking really good. And luckily for me, it's pretty forgiving when it comes to brush marks and drips and all that, because I am no artist. I'm not really great at this stuff. It's looking good, and you know, even if it did end up looking bad, this is just so that we can move logs around. It's gonna get trashed up anyway. Really just doing this to protect it, but I think it is looking pretty nice. And also I haven't been too worried about getting drips on the bunk because I'm about to be staying in that too. So I'm just not that worried about it. That wood is dry and it is just soaking up the stain like a sponge. All right, now that I got a coat on that, I'm gonna start on our bunk. And we're gonna be doing the pine on top a different color than the cedar on the bottom. I'm just gonna start with the pine today, so let's continue on. All right, well, I have come to the conclusion that I do not like staining. That was not very fun for me at all, but it did turn out looking pretty nice. You know, we put Boracare on there and now we put stain on it. So that should keep it pretty protected from the rain and the elements, and hopefully insects won't get into it anymore with the stain. So I guess we'll see with that. And we are also gonna be staining the cedar post. I'm just not gonna be doing that today. But yeah, I think it looks really good. Honestly, it's kind of subtle after you stare at it for a while, but it was definitely a big difference when the stain was going on. And it's also just cool to look at it and think that we milled all that ourselves, so we created this from scratch. But I want to give a big thank you to everyone that backs us over on Patreon. We really appreciate your support. And also thank you to everyone that just liked the video and subscribed. We really appreciate that. And that's going to be a wrap for this video, so I'll see you guys next time.